Scott McNair, injury attorneys, we fight for the win.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Overruled Podcast, brought to you by the Scott Vicnair Law Firm. This is your co-host, David Vicnair, flying solo today, so I guess I'm really your only host, and this is going to be a wild and rocky adventure today because we have one of my good friends on this show, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about and what he's going to say. I mean, I have a little bit of an idea, but it's going to go left, it's going to go right, and let's see what happens. Paul Faust, welcome to the podcast.
Wait, it's Scott Vicnair?
We've already started.
That's confused me. How you doing, dude? I love this. I'm so happy to be on here with you. I love you. Appreciate you. Been amazingly supportive. So I'm excited to do this with you.
Paul, tell everybody about you, your company, what you do.
All right. So my main company that I kind of one of the owners of in the industry is called ringboost.com. And what we specialize in is providing phone numbers to businesses. But I don't like to tell people that my business is phone numbers. My business is voice communication. It's connecting people through voice. The vehicle happens to be a memorable number, a number that makes it easy for people to remember how to reach you from your marketing, et cetera. So that's my core business. But since I've been doing it so long and I've been in the industry, I also consult for some other vendors in the industry like Zip Liens and Claim Angel and others that are best of breed in our legal field, and they've asked me to help represent them. So I get to do a few things in the industry.
How did you find your way into selling branded phone numbers? Like, and by branded, I mean just memorable phone numbers that are easier for consumers, whether it be legal or whatever business it is you sell the phone number to. How'd you find your way into that business? It's a very niche, unique thing.
Oh, yeah, but this was, this is an unbelievable story. No, it's not at all. I met a guy playing softball.
What a story. You met him playing softball, Paul?
I swear to God, I met a guy playing softball. He had got the number 1-800-HOME CARE. His name's Greg Hammerschlag. He built his home care business with it, realized that you could license it out, decided at one point to sell his home care business and go into the phone number business full time. I met him. I said, I don't understand what you're doing. We talked for about a half hour, 45 minutes. I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, you got to come join me. So, it's also, ultimately it's a business lesson to everybody out there that don't worry about every plan you make in life. The next person you meet, the next conversation you have, the next book you read, the next show you watch could lead you in a whole nother direction in life. I had no intention of being here today active in this business. I met a guy playing softball, had a conversation. It turned into a brainstorming session. It turned into a whole direction for my life. So I think it's more the important lesson is not how I got into the business, but how opportunities are there all the time if you just lift your head up and listen.
How long ago was that?
About 20 years.
Wow. Okay. So you've been doing it for about 20 years, but you're also a professional actor, correct?
I like the word that you said, professional.
Let me take that back. I'm not going to call you professional because I don't want that to be tied to me. You are an actor.
I am an actor, but if you look at the stuff that I've acted in, which is great, I typically get to play myself. I play
and you love him. You love him, don't you?
50-year-old business guy.
You love yourself.
You know why? I have to play myself because they haven't found anybody else qualified to play me. Like, if you could find someone to play this, God bless you.
But you have been in, which I want our listeners to know, you've been in at least one episode. How many episodes of The Office were you in?
I did one episode of The Office. The plan was to have us back, but because the show was always in flux and they were going to cancel it and they weren't, they had to wrap up the arcs of the stories. They didn't need us, but I got blessed to be on an episode of The Office. Incredible experience, incredible fandom. I know all the cast members and it's led me to other things. I do this. I didn't read the book in life that says you have to do one thing. I don't believe in that model. I look at acting and making movies and TV shows. Like I just told you, I did a pilot for a TV show with Armando Leduc in New Orleans called Life on Bourbon. It's like golf to me. It's a hobby. I love being creative. I love that part. So I get to have my businesses. I was also a volunteer firefighter. I also get to act. So, don't listen to anybody that says, no, you can't do that. You do that. I don't like that model. I don't believe in it.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons I kind of like this is my perspective on why we became really good friends and I really like you is because I do have that strong contrarian in me. I see it come out in you and your personality a lot, that you are kind of just living your life and you're running at your own speed and you don't give a shit about what anybody else thinks and you will not be put into a box. And that's kind of like the thing I like and respect about you, and all the different things that you're doing kind of fit that mantra, right?
Yeah, I don't like when someone says, so what do you do? And if people say, oh, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor. No, what do? I do whatever I want.
Yep.
Meaning, I don't like tomorrow. I might be a lawyer. I'm not tomorrow. I think it takes a minute to go to that school thing, and I probably
like
wouldn't
a
do
total
that.
turnaround time of 4 years. If you can pull it around Faust in a day, I'd be impressed.
I'll figure it out. No, but then they got that guy with that little gavel thing that makes me stop talking. We can't.
That would be the
handle
judge. That would be the judge.
Yeah, I don't like that. Nobody tells me when to stop talking. But I had a coach in life. I named Jesse Itzler, and kind of taught me to live a different way. And like literally, when I say that, I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I have a career that I specialize in, and I don't know. Tomorrow, if the Navy SEALs called and said, "Hey, we need a out of shape dad like for a mission," I'd be like, "That sounds cool. Like, why not?" Yeah, and here's what's interesting. The acting stuff, which is a passion, it's because I'm not very good at golf. I don't fish that well. It builds my other stuff. People want to have me on to talk about acting, doing movies. I brought the first film I did. All of my investors were lawyer friends of mine. And I'm like, hey, let's come in and make a movie together. Like, it just, everything leads to another path, which is what makes life fun. I don't like predictability.
Yeah. Do you think, Paul, and we're going to get to mindset here in a minute, because one of the things I discovered at the last conference I was at with you was how deeply you have worked on your mindset and your thinking and all those things. But do you think that in some respect that your refusal to like resist the directions life was taking you has led to some of your success? Because I do see that in some people is like they just think they have to go a certain direction and they resist the currents kind of like pushing them in life. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I think most of them are not happy. Now, I will be like, look, you know me. You see the way I act in person. I try and be the life of the party. I want people to have fun. I want to make people smile. I want to bring joy to the world. See, what people didn't see is, they saw that part of me because I'm supposed to be the successful sales guy. I'm supposed to be the happy guy. Nobody saw when I went back to my room and maybe cried or felt less than or had anxiety that I was an imposter, that maybe I wasn't good. And I suffered that anxiety in silence because we're not supposed to show that weak part. And after doing that for about 10, 12 years, I said, there's got to be another way. Maybe I'm not thinking about life right. Maybe I'm not living it right. And I went to this journey to say, where can I change the way I think? Does it have to be this way? And so it was really like, I almost want to write a love letter to anxiety. Because if it wasn't for anxiety, I might not have gone on this journey to say, wait a minute, what am I chasing this for? Who am I trying to impress? Who am I trying to be? Why can't I pursue happiness as opposed to other stuff? So I think that's what led to the mindset change. It wasn't just me being some, a guru. It was suffering. And then saying, there's got to be a different path, man. And I found it, and all I want to do is bring it to other people.
Yeah, let me ask you before we get into that, and I really want to dive a bit deeper, is do you have a favorite acting story? You just mentioned, we talked about The Office a little bit, that pilot you just shot in New Orleans. I know you've done a lot of stuff. Do you have one story that just jumps out like it's a funny or a good acting story from your time acting?
Look, the funniest stories come from the stuff that isn't planned. Yeah. That is stuff that just organically happens. When you're around people who make movies and TV and they're creative, it's unbelievable the stuff that comes out that you hadn't thought about. But look, my favorite story, I've told it a million times. I just told it at the Office convention, is like all of a sudden I'm sitting in New York and the next day I'm on the set of The Office. And I haven't done this before. This is a big time. And they go, okay, quiet on the set. Camera's going up. Camera's rolling. And Brian Baumgartner, who on the show plays Kevin, he turns around and goes, nobody F up, Paul. And he looks right at me. And I'm like, what the hell is that about? Like, it's like someone saying that to your first time going to, to a jury trial, and your partner looks and goes, don't mess up. So that was just such a funny story because it actually broke the tension. It was like, just go have fun.
Yeah. Love it.
Don't overthink everything.
We were just talking a little bit about your love letter to anxiety. had talked to you before, and really impressed by like the deep level of work that you have and the time you have taken to work on your mindset, your perspective on life, your perspective on the world. Do you think in some way, like you just mentioned, anxiety? Do you think in some ways, and I actually saw this on another podcast a couple weeks ago, and it kind of stuck with me. Do you think it's harmful for us to say? And one of the things they were talking about is don't say you have anxiety. Like, yeah, maybe you're anxious. Like, we almost kind of self-label ourselves. Like, oh, I suffer. I have anxiety or I have this whatever. No, you're just anxious for a particular reason. Like, what are your thoughts on that perspective? Like, I've really been thinking about that the last week or two.
100%. You're 100% correct. So you don't have anxiety. Being on this podcast made me anxious. Going to a trial made me anxious. I don't have anxiety. This thing made me anxious. And it's all about labels. A good friend of mine, Chad Sanchagrin, wrote a book, said, keep telling yourself. And a lot of the problems and issues we have are all the stories we tell ourselves in our head. It's the self-limiting beliefs. It's the identifiers. It's this. It's also, from all my coaching, it's people say, I have to go for a run today. No. Today, I get to go build my lungs and make myself healthier. I have to go to the gym today. No, you don't. I get to go make myself stronger. If we change word, our tongue is our rudder. Our spoken word is our rudder and dictates a lot of our life. Our brains don't know sarcasm. So people always come to me at conferences and they go, man, I'm tired. I'm like, I could tell you why you're tired. They're like, why? I'm like, because you keep saying you're tired. If you say it, your brain goes, okay, I'm tired. He's saying I'm tired. Let me start shutting down. I'm tired. And you get more tired. Use your tongue. Speak differently. You will find universally when people say to me, hey, Paul, how you doing? I go, I am effing outstanding. And people go, I want to be outstanding. I'm like, it's easy. Just start saying it because we're looking at the world wrong. People are like, oh, I lost a sale. I do that. I'm like, you have clothes on? Yeah. You got eyesight? Yeah. Well, you got hearing? Yeah. Can you get a cold glass of water if you want one? Yeah. You're doing pretty darn well. So we are outstanding. We just talk wrong. And all of that is how we speak to ourselves, what we feed into our brains, what we project into the world, and people react to it.
Yeah, this was like topic number one on mindset for me to talk to you about is how exactly what you just said. We did not talk about this before. I'm like kind of blown away as I sit here that you hit it like that because that's exactly the discussion that was happening on this podcast I listened 2 weeks ago. And I've really been reflecting on that, especially like being from the South. I think that when you were raised, the way we're brought up and everything, that has some effect, right, on who we become, our mindset. All can be reversed. Anything can be changed. You can do anything to reverse the way you think, the way you talk. But I've really been reflecting on it the last 2 weeks because I'm like, I feel like it's a inherent way that some of us are raised to be humble, and you will kind of like speak, like to kind of, and I even catch myself doing this to me, like, oh, I'm an idiot and joking, or oh, I'm whatever. And you're almost like emulating yourself. You're almost hitting yourself in the act of being humble, but like the power of the brain following what we say is not just esoteric, like it's really real.
100%. So there was one of the coaches I had through the program at Jesse Itzer was Chad Wright, former Navy SEAL. And he said that he knew everybody that was going to ring the bell and quit before they quit because they gave their pain a voice. They'd be sitting in the water and the guy would turn to Chad and say, I'm cold. He knew that was it. Once he spoke it, and gave his pain a voice, it took over. So we have to be very careful about being like this. It's okay to make a joke, make a self-deprecating joke,
right?
But stop saying I'm this or I'm that. Say whatever you want. Say I'm amazing. Say I'm a machine. I've told the story about my running and how I changed how far I ran strictly from how I spoke, and that transcends itself. And there's so many. This doesn't require years of therapy and advanced study. Like I've given people a trick to do. Very simple trick. Start with this. Every night before you go to bed, last thing, before you close your eyes, say out loud 3 things today that you're grateful for. Just say them out loud. So I will say tonight, I'm really grateful that I was on the podcast, got to talk to one of my good friends. I'm excited to see it. And I will do that 3 out loud. Don't think it, say it. Power of spoken word. And you will see that you will actually rewire your brain to be more grateful. It's not hard. And then when all of a sudden it starts transcending itself across all areas of your life and people see it and they want to be around it because you bring a level of happiness and joy. Now when somebody cuts me off, I don't go road rage. I go, man, I hope where they're going, I hope everything's okay. How do I know he's not racing to a hospital? How do I know he's racing the trial to get his client millions of dollars they deserve? I don't know. I used to react, he cut me off. How dare he? I never once thought, where is that person going in such a hurry? So why not think that? Why not think that way as opposed to assuming the negative? And it also relates to another story that I was going to bring up at the conference, and I might talk about it from the stage, is how many of us have said, if I only did this, this would have happened. If I only said this at that trial, I would be the biggest lawyer in New Orleans. If I only did this in law school, I would have done this, right? We've all said it.
Yep.
But everybody says that, and they project, if they only did this, I would be way up here. Let's take it a different way. Had you only said that at your last trial, you might have gotten $100 million verdict. You might have put $30 million in your pocket. You might have decided to celebrate by renting a private plane and taking your friends to Costa Rica, and that private plane might have crashed. So, we only think about the positive. Every single decision I made in life led me to sit in this chair right now talking to my friend. Every one. I don't know if I made other decisions in life, if I'd be sitting here. Maybe I'd be in prison. Maybe I'd be dead. Maybe I'd be a drug addict. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I know is that the only path exists is this one right here. And so I'm going to be pleased with it. I can't keep looking back and going, well, if I only did that, I'd probably be retired. Maybe I'd be retired and divorced because I started partying too much. I don't know. So I think that we need to just start being more grateful for the life we had and what we're doing. And that all just takes a little bit of self-reflection.
Great point. One thing you said that really sticks with me, you don't need therapy for any of this. So for me, I probably should be doing therapy just because running a law firm takes a lot of that, right?
Oh, yeah.
But aside from that, for me, I've really dived into this when we were talking last month about mindset a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, just working on my mindset. And there's this really revolutionary way to do it. There's this thing called Amazon, and these books just show up at your door. It really just takes reading and reflection, right? I mean, talk about some tools that people can use to develop these mindset shifts and tricks that you have.
First, I agree with you. Reading, podcasts, what you consume in form of television, surrounding yourself with the right people. And the most important one is going out into the world and saying, I'm not perfect. I feel less than right now. I could use a lending ear. We have the stigma on therapy. I did therapy, do it many times. When I have coaches, that is a form of therapy.
That's right.
Right? It's being able to say, I used to hide because I thought I have to be the top sales guy. I have to be the life of the party. I have to be the happy one. And then I'd run to my room and be the sad one and the less than and the fear and the crying and am I good at this? Now I tell my friends, I'm like, hey man, I'm just feeling a little less than right now. And having people you could talk to that support you, be like, all right, let's talk about it. Why? And you can't run from these thoughts because they will always catch you. So I used to run, right? It's like running from a shark or running from a this. It never works. Now I turn and face it. I go, okay, why are you sending me the signal? Why do I feel this way? And I turn and face the bully. I beat up the bully in my head. And I do that with reading, mindset, friends, people I can call, talk to, be like, hey, let's talk this out. And sometimes they'll be like, you know what, Paul, let me give you a different way to think about this, right? It could be, I might be mad at you at the last conference in Park City because I'll be like, oh, he didn't return my text. He went out with the guys drinking, or whatever. Dude, he blew me off. That's not cool. I thought we were friends. I hate him, blah, blah, blah. And I go to bed angry. And then I wake up and I bump into you and you're like, oh, dude, I left my phone in the room last night. Sorry. But I created this whole story in my head that it was deliberate. You were mad at me. You deliberately wanted to blow me off. And now I've let all this emotion run over me. Then I bump into you and be like, oh yeah, man, I dropped my phone in the toilet. Sorry, bro. Yep. It's just a simple little twist of how we think about things.
Is there one book, Paul, if it's somebody came to you and was like, hey, Paul, I really want to start getting into this mindset shift. What's the book I can start with? Is there one that just pops in your head? I have one. Mine is Mindset by Carol Dweck, which I think is a great book. I don't know if you've read that.
I have not. Look, I don't have one because I've looked at so many in vignettes of books, but the first one I ever read was by a guy named Mo Gaudet called Solve for Happy. And I when I was just starting, I saw that one and it was like, you are not your thoughts. no more than your blood flow or your urine or anything else. So when your brain is wired to do one thing, which is protect you. And something goes on, the brain sends you a signal. So instead of accepting it, I go, thank you very much for that thought. You know what? I want another one right now. I don't want that one.
Yeah.
So that was the first one. I'm not saying it's the best one. Here's the best book. Here's the best book for you. The first one you pick up, because an object in motion tends to stay in motion. And if you pick up one, it might not be the perfect book for you, but it will get you thinking differently and on a journey. And if you're not a reader, this podcast, I listen to Gary Vee's podcast and Jesse Itzler's podcast. It just get in the game and you'll be like, it's unbelievable that the light switch went off. And I'm like, holy crap, this world is amazing.
It is. Yeah.
I've been thinking so wrong. And once it goes off, all you want to do is seek more light.
Yeah, I mean, Carol Dweck is kind of like the one who's credited with Meghan Markle goes on this ridiculous podcast, which I've had so much fun laughing at. Sorry to you Meghan Markle fans, but and she talks about the power of yet. That's all Carol Dweck, like just putting yet on the back of everything. Like, oh, I haven't accomplished that yet. Like that's all Carol Dweck, not Meghan Markle. She tried to co-op it, but that's a great book about abundance mindset and different thinking. But to your point, like I love Mel Robbins' podcast. I think she's wonderful. Diary of a CEO is another great one. They have like some great mindset guests on there. It's just amazing ability for us to go get this information and improve ourselves. Also, something as silly and dumb as if we're going to be doom scrolling on social media, like start following the accounts that have really good thought-provoking content on mindset, so it pops in your feed every freaking day. That's what I do, and it like just kind of jolts me and sets me into that, remember to be grateful, all those types of things. You mentioned earlier, Paul, that trick, which I love, 3 things you're grateful for at the end of every day. What is 1 or 2 other tricks that you could share that you help to reinvigorate that mindset shift each day of your life besides that?
Besides gratefulness, positive speaking. When I encounter someone and they go, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm outstanding," and I watch their face change. Because they might have been feeling down, and I just say it. I go, "I want to be outstanding," and then we get to have a conversation. The other one, and again, these are all tips that cost $0 and 0 time. Watch how it changed your life. Take a moment to leave every interaction you're with the other person in a positive way. It doesn't take a lot if you're walking through the airport and you see the janitor or the custodian cleaning up and go, "Man, this place looks awesome. How's your day today?" Or when a bartender makes your drink, instead of saying thanks, be like, you crush it with that drink, or "This looks awesome." You don't know that person you're interacting with might be at the lowest point in their life. They might have said to themselves, "Today's my last day. I can't take it anymore." And that one positive comment, which costs you nothing, could change the trajectory of not only their life, but yours. And it costs $0. You could be rich, poor. Just take a minute. We have so much going on in this world. Division with politics, division, with our money, with race, with religion, just say something nice to everybody you interact with and watch how it feeds your soul and just makes you happier. It's crazy how easy it is.
Love that. Okay, I want to shift gears now, Paul. I'm going to do this segment. Are you willing to do this segment? It's called, you're on the Overruled podcast, so we're going to have a quick segment called Overruled. Are you ready?
I'm scared.
I'm going to ask you quick questions, and I expect quick answers. You good?
Squirrel.
All right. Favorite restaurant in NOLA? Favorite
restaurant
in New Orleans?
Acme oysters. It's all I eat.
Acme oysters.
Those
okay.
fried. I can't find them anywhere in the world. Those charbroiled oysters.
All right. Favorite TV show of all time?
I gotta say the Office, even though I haven't watched it all, because they blessed me with having me on.
I'm a Seinfeld, but I appreciate it. Favorite movie of all time?
Wow.
Yeah. This is the hard hitting shit.
Shawshank.
Like, Shawshank, great movie. All right. Last question, and I have to ask a preparatory question. Who's your favorite football team?
I don't really have any.
You don't have one. I mean, come on. What team do you root for, Paul?
Mike Morse. You know what?
Michael, he always wins.
Look, I'm now a Panthers fan because I moved to Florida and I have to support my Panthers. When I was in New York, I was a Yankee fan, and a Ranger fan, but now I'm a South Floridian, so I gotta like them. I don't have like this is my team. I just don't bleed that way.
Is there any way? Okay, I'm gonna work on you becoming a Saints fan. Okay,
I love it.
Are you open to it?
Who dat?
All right. Well, we're going to talk offline. All right. To close up, I have two last questions for you. One is, I'm curious, of all the books you've read, if there's one book, it could be any genre, whether it's fiction, mindset, anything, just one book that is your favorite that you kind of go back to. If there's a book that you have a recommendation for any of our listeners.
Yes. There's a book, and I don't remember the author. I got to think of it. It's called Who, Not How.
I just ordered it. I haven't read it yet.
It changed so many things in my business world and why I do a lot of things now, why I make movies and other stuff. Who, Not How.
Is it Dan Sullivan?
I think it's guys who train with Dan Sullivan, and he said, yeah, go write the book.
Okay, I'm looking forward. I just literally got it last week, so I'm looking forward to reading
favorite book. It opened up so many eyes for me, and also Jesse Itzler's Living with a Seal.
Okay. What is that one about?
So Jesse Itzler, a very well-known entrepreneur and mindset coach, decided to invite a Navy SEAL to live with him. And I don't want to give away the whole story, basically. And the Navy SEAL said, "Sure, I'll come live with you for 30 days, but you have to do everything I tell you without question." And Jesse said, "Okay." And that it's funny, but it taught us about, and what taught him and taught us through the book is how that we are capable of so much more than we think we are.
Amazing. Okay. Last question. You're a very unique person. We all are very unique and different. If there's one thing that you say is your superpower, something that's different about you, something, just that one quality you think that's helped you be successful, what is it?
I think my superpower is people and being able to connect human beings together. I love human beings. I love getting to know their stories, but I love connecting other people together and watching their success, whether it be business, life, a night out. It brings me more joy than my own success, watching that. I just have this energy to bring humans together. And I've always said, I don't believe in what goes around comes around. I believe in what goes around has to go somewhere. So if I connect you with someone and you wind up handling their case and getting them lots of money, you've just changed their family. And that energy has to go somewhere. It doesn't always have to come directly back to me. And if we all live that way, the world gets better. I think that's my superpower is human beings and bringing joy to them.
Well, I think it is too, just having observed you and gotten to be friends with you. In fact, I watched it in Park City. I think one of my favorite memories from that trip is a bunch of adults being on the other side of the pool, and you ditched all of us, and you went play with these random kids in the pool, and you were throwing them around the pool. Probably made those kids' freaking day, and it just brought a big ass smile to me to watch you, this grown dude, like playing with all these 8 to 10-year-old kids in the pool, and their parents were loving it. It was amazing.
Stop pretending you have to be professional all the time. You have to be an adult. It's okay to be a kid and just have fun and smile. Yes. It brought me more joy than maybe those kids. Like, it was just fun to have a splash fight with some kids.
They kind of whipped your butt, if I'm going to be honest.
They did.
Nobody helped me. It was like 6-on-1 , so it wasn't
Nobody
really
jumped
a fair
in to
fight.
get my back.
They're quick and they're young. They're freaking nimble. Their bones aren't brittle. Paul, if somebody wants to connect with you, how can they find you?
Any way you want. So they can call me directly, 914-200-0013. 13 is my lucky number. Paul@ringboost.com. Instagram, @CoolGuyPaulFaust. I don't care if you want to send a smoke signal, carrier pigeon. Like, I'll get a cage if that's the way you want to communicate. And here's the one message I'm going to say to everybody, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a vendor, whether you have nothing to do with our industry. Contact me, and I'm here to help. We don't ever have to do business together. I love helping people. I love finding opportunities. Reach out to me anyway. I'd love to just bounce ideas off and see what I could do to make your life and ultimately my life better.
Amazing. Thank you, Paul. It's great having you on the show. Thank you for being here. And thank you to all of our listeners for following along this interesting journey with incredible guests and people like Paul Faust. This has been another great episode of the Overrule Podcast, brought to you by the Scott Vignair Law Firm. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Scott Vignair, injury attorneys, we fight for the win.
Information is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute tax, investment, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified investment, legal, or tax professional before taking any action.